All right, let's get a little intro going. We got the Well Life Podcast. We're back. Mike Bouranis,
Hey.
the Stoked Brogie. Used to be the Broke Stogie.
No.
Never?
As a joke, I would say it.
Just kidding. I think that's the first thing I read your name as. I was like, Broke Stogie, joke, and then I was like...
I always said if I started a cigar channel, it'd be the Broke
You
Stogie.
should.
Yeah,
You
but
should.
I don't smoke
Cigar
cigars,
talk.
so, yeah.
You could light one and just put it to the side.
Yeah.
We're at his spot, Stoked Athletics, West Babylon Village, or
No,
West Babylon?
West Babylon is a census-designated place
Interesting.
between Lindenhurst and Babylon Village.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, man. Happy to have you on. Made the trip down here to get you on midday. It's a cool spot.
Thanks.
How long ago did you expand the
2022.
gym?
We were just
Okay.
speaking about kids, and it's like the same time frame we were having our first child was like, now's a good time to expand.
Do it.
And I was like, fuck.
Expand both parts of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 2022, that's when we did. But
Yeah.
it was more of a defensive play. It was just like people were coming into that side
Yeah.
and just like
Do it.
blowing up our spot and doing dumb stuff here and causing a headache for me. So I was just like, let's just get it so that nobody else can take it.
Smart.
And we grew
And it's
into
worked.
it.
You're firing. Cool, man. We met back in 2017. I graduated college that spring.
Mm-hmm.
Met you at Superior Athletics. I was interning.
Yep.
What was that start like for you there? I remember meeting you, and first off, my first perspective of you, and I've never said this, was like, this dude just seems like he has such a simple way to work everything, and it just fucking works.
That's nice.
No,
That's
I'm
nice
so
that
serious.
It presents like that.
I see, yeah. It's good, right? You could be like totally like exploding on the inside, but
Yeah.
I was like, this guy has the unique, you've formed a sick brand for yourself, right? Like such a unique way to just like simplify shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, that stuck in my head, but we could go back to that, but I just want to get to know you a little bit. Where did you start? Why did you get into the fitness realm that you did?
I guess it was like, shout out SUNY Oneonta. That's where I went to school. And I grew up and I was not into fitness. And it was more just like a lot of skateboarding, worked at a skate shop, worked at a couple of restaurants like while I was in high school. Just like hanging out with my friends, being like degenerate stoners and doing whatever.
Yeah.
And then went away to college in Oneonta, and you can't really skateboard there because it's just either snowing or bad weather all the time. So that's when I was like, oh, I guess I'll start like going to the gym because there's nothing else to do. Got into that, and then I was kind of done with all of I went to school for history, so I was done with all of my major stuff in junior year, so I just needed credits. So then I was in a fraternity. We had like the filing cabinet, which was like all the tests that you took, like, and you could grab, like bring them back. So there was a good amount in the personal training one. So I was like, all right, that's an easy class. I get to just like lift weights and hang out with my friends. Like we all, like 9 of us took it. And I was just like, oh, that's actually pretty sick. And I got to know the teacher, and she was really rad and helped me out. And that was the first semester. Second semester, I decided like, all right, I want to get certified and maybe try it out after I graduate because I didn't know what I wanted to do. Originally I wanted to be a teacher, and then I interned at a museum, and I was like, I don't really like any of this.
You just liked the history realm, or was that what made you go that realm? Not to divert off, but why did you?
I think it's just like I think about that a lot. I think it just it's a different field where the answers aren't so objective, and it's like you're really thinking about like it's part psychology of like, why did this happen? What influences, where we're at now, what events happened, policy decisions. So then the idea was maybe I go into like law. So then I was trying to do like a minor in like criminal justice at the time too. And the idea was like I would graduate and go to law school. And then once I got into the personal training thing, I was like, I could at least try it. Like at that point, I've always felt like I would probably be the worst employee for somebody. And it's just like, I always felt like I was probably going to do my own thing anyway.
Gotcha.
So personal training was like an avenue that I could do something I like to do. There's a lot of freedom in like, you could make it whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, you can own it.
Like, and I've had so many influences that have shown like you could work at a corporate gym and make, a great living for yourself. You could just be a guy who just trains people one-on-one and make a great living. You could do something like this and make a great living. So I was always interested in the options. And I guess when I graduated, that's when I was talking to my teacher. She had worked at Equinox in the past. A friend of mine worked the front desk. So I was like, let me just try Equinox, and got a job there right after I graduated. Started there for a year and a half. Hated it because it was just sales. I was like, fuck this. Like the training wasn't rewarded.
Throw you on the floor and go.
Good training wasn't rewarded.
Yeah.
It was just like, make sales.
Yeah.
And like the best trainer was the guy who made the most sales, and he was clearly the worst trainer.
Yep. Yep.
And so I hated
Just
that.
the big talk. Yeah.
Yeah, so I started Stoked as a side thing to basically steal my clients out of Equinox, go up the road, train them one-on-one somewhere else.
Cool.
And then over time it was Sean Noriega was training with Billy.
Yep.
And was like,
baseball
hey,
and then powerlifting, right?
Yeah, so he was a baseball kid and then is still like an incredible powerlifter and a great coach. So he hit me up and was like, hey, my coach is having interns right now. Like, you should check it out if you want to get more into like the athletic development stuff. So then got the internship, worked there for free while not quit Equinox at that point. So I was just broken. I had some like one-on-ones. I would travel back to.
What year was that?
20.
It was like 15 probably, right?
2015.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would travel. For those that don't know, I'm in West Babylon. Traveling to Great Neck is like an hour and a half, depending on the time you take or time you go. So I would travel up there, do one-on-ones, train people online for powerlifting.
Yep.
Then worked at Superior after I interned and got a job there.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's sick. When did the powerlifting stuff take off, where you and Matt were piecing together a ton of the online stuff? Because then you broke that off from each other. He went his own way.
Yeah.
Then you literally bridged off after Superior, brick and mortar wise.
Yeah. So we were doing it online together while we were, I don't know when exactly it started in my head. I mean, it had to be around 2015. I started the company in 2015. So I was powerlifting at that point. We were doing like nationals. And back then it was very easy to get into nationals. Nobody was powerlifting. And we kind of built it up and we had a good roster and it made us some like, okay money for being like young 20-year-olds. Like it was nothing to, like support a family. But, and then when I started training people out of Superior one-on-one and more adults and then started renting out from other places to do it, that's when the marketing got really muddy for Stoked because it was like, we do this big powerlifter thing, and then we're also training these adults, and like you would go to our website, and you weren't sure, and it was like, we were trying to like say both of it, so we both were just like, this doesn't make sense, dude. Let's just like split off, and I'll train adults, and you train powerlifters, and he went his own way and crushes it as well, like he's killing it. So that was around 20. I was in my apartment at the time, I remember, so it had to be 2018. We decided that.
Gotcha.
But he had already like moved to Vermont, so it was like.
Yeah, I remember because I was coaching with him on the floor. I came in the fall, and Bill had that whole space switch with Superior, scrambled a little bit. Don't go into that. But I remember that, right? You were building your own spot, phased out. I was with Matt on the floor a little bit. And then, he moved. And then he moved with his girlfriend at the time up to Vermont and just was like.
In a log cabin.
Quiet, antisocial Matt.
Literally
going out in the middle of nowhere.
Yep. Squat rack in his cabin and just trained people
It's
online.
literally the epitome of who he was. I mean, he was what, 20 years old at the time? He was 19.
He was young.
At the time when he moved up there almost, or 20.
I can't remember.
Maybe 21. Yeah. Maybe he was just 21. I think he was 19 when I met him, maybe.
Yeah.
Crazy, bro. He was young. That's awesome, dude. What was it like navigating the sublet realm when you were subletting originally to build the space, just to try to figure out when you were ready to make the right move to like go from first phase, second phase,
to like have our own space.
Now we're Stoked Athletics and we're cooking, and the brand started becoming the brand.
Yeah, I guess because subletting has its own pros and cons. It was like at one point it was like, all right, the business is bringing in 100,000. The overhead was real low. It was just me training people and paying $500 a month. So like that was cool. But then it's like I don't get to control the music. There was no AC in there. It was a warehouse CrossFit gym. So it's like getting clients is hard when it's the summer. So there was a lot of things that like I was like, I have my own vision of like a brand and the culture and the atmosphere I want. So I was always just like, the second I have first, last, and security deposit is like just gonna do it. What's there to lose? So I would always look at spaces, and then this space had been open for a while, and I used to sublet from a place like one door over. So I kind of knew the layout. I lived 30 seconds from it, so I was like, that's sick. Ended up moving. The same weekend we ended up signing the lease and walking in here. My wife and I bought our first house. So it's like, and we were out in Iceland. Yeah. So it was like
those are big moves together.
And end of 2019, COVID
crazy.
Right around the corner. Yeah, it was a
Holy
trip.
shit! And then you opened a gym right before COVID, but then you also walked into a piece of real estate that after COVID, I'm sure.
No, signed this right before.
Yeah, no, I know. That's what I'm saying. So like business sinks after COVID. right?
Well, for some.
For some,
Yeah.
but I'm saying
We'll
the
get to it,
industry,
yeah.
right? And then buying a home,
It was a big commitment. But it was one of those things where it was just like,
and then
what else are you going to do?
housing prices went up after COVID as well,
we got
right?
lucky on
So
that.
it was you guys, that's like an
We got
interesting
good on that, yeah.
timing.
So yeah, I basically had like 30 to 40 members somewhere in there, and I was like, I just know that I knew that I was good enough at training that I wouldn't make, you know, any decisions that would bomb the business. Like, sure, I've made terrible decisions, but nothing that like fucked us too bad. Sorry if there's no cursing.
No, I curse all the time.
And then I just knew that with the clients that were paying, like, I know that if they don't leave and I get 1 or 2 more a month, I'm fine. And it's just adding on, right?
Keep going.
So
it's all business really ends up being at the end of the day, too.
Yeah.
It's just like,
just know the numbers.
Don't bomb it. Don't be an asshole, and
stay out of your own way with your decisions.
Make good decisions. 2 good decisions for a bad decision, and keep growing, you know?
And at that time, it was like I had somebody interning with me, and she had been training with me, and so she came on as a coach. So she was helping me out with some of the sessions. COVID hits. I immediately just rented out all the equipment. I called every single member, and I was just like, what do you have at home? Wrote it all down, rented out all the equipment to them for free, and then just wrote them all home programs. And thankfully, because we've been doing online training, I had all the systems set up for online training, for check-ins, for everything. So we didn't lose any business. And in doing so, I then created a Facebook group for, I think it was called like South Shore Strong. And essentially I would host live workouts for free, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, twice a day, morning, night. People could donate during it. And then the donations would go to buying gift cards for like the restaurants that were struggling. And then we would raffle them off to anybody that did the workouts.
I had no idea you did that.
Yeah, it was like 300 people joined the group, and like that helped like get more people in the door.
Wow.
And then so
Smart.
By the time we were able to come back in, we went from 40 to 80.
Yeah,
so
and then you have the restaurants and businesses that are successful backing you as well, and you form relationships in the community.
Yeah, and we still have them to this day.
That's massive, dude. Yeah. That's massive.
Yeah.
Wow. What do you think, like, going back to what I said with you and my perspective, it just seemed, right, you have a very calm way and chill way, literally probably, about how you go about everything from outsider, right? From an outsider.
Lauren, I don't know if you agree with that. That I have a calm
I don't work here. I don't work here. But what do you think, right? The Stoked brand, what's behind it, right? The no days off always stood out to me as like a big branded, it's almost like a brand statement of like the driver of like who you are and how you go about just logical training, just logical moves.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I guess like I am in a sense like I know that you have to do what is proven to work to see results. That's the physiological part. The psychological part is getting people to do the things, which means that sometimes you got to do things that, call it novelty, call it the Instagram circus trick stuff, like just things that engage people enough, smaller percent of it, so that it's like they're bought into their program, and even if it's something that like there's like, oh, I really want to do this, I'm like, all right, like that doesn't really get them there, but if it gets them to be more consistent, what we know is that if you're just consistent long term, you're going to see better progress than anybody else. So that's my mentality on like the training, which I wouldn't even say that there's a lot of novelty. I think we've gotten to the point and trust and understanding ourselves and like the push and pull of it of like, it's mainly just good training, right? Like, and I think I took a lot because I was always interested in training athletes, training powerlifters, I did bodybuilding. So I know how to help people get muscle. I know how to get them stronger. I know how to get them more better performance. So you kind of can meld those things together. From a mindset standpoint, to me, it's like, maybe this is a more like growing up in the skateboard world and like against authority or whatever. But, you know, you see what's out there and it's like, training doesn't have to be this big, you know, triumphant act. And it's like, oh, like, you know, like I was in the gym and I did this. It's like, dude, if that gym didn't have air conditioning and the bench wasn't as cushioned, like you wouldn't be a, you know, no days off guy.
Yeah.
You know, it's that's why we started the whole like some days off side piece. You know, it was like, because I think it's just like the main thing is training makes people live longer, healthier lives. And that is like to me, a fulfilling thing to put out into the world.
For sure.
And I just try to express that. It's like, it doesn't have to be this all or nothing mentality. And I think people's minds are so warped from what, you know, media or other marketing has exposed them to that they think it has to be. So you know, I try to just double down on like, this is not your main thing. It's what we say is like, this is like the backstage pass to get you to the main thing, whatever that is, like being able to play with your kids more, or like, you know, be able to run that 5K, be able to take that spontaneous hike when you're on vacation. Like, that's the stuff that matters. Fucking this stuff.
So your knee doesn't hurt on the hike,
Yeah.
and your back doesn't fucking go out when you're picking up your kid. You know?
Yeah, and it's not to say that people shouldn't celebrate when they hit PRs
Yeah.
and things. Like, that's still like awesome. You know, that's that shows that you had work ethic and that you know you worked towards something and you put in effort, and that's all good things. Like, doing hard things is good, you know.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be like this, like on a pedestal thing, you know, where it's like life or death. If you, well, in a sense, but you know what I mean. Like,
Literally, no.
Like, like if you didn't get to the gym today, it's like, oh, that's it. It's like you didn't lose your progress. It's fine.
Yeah,
like,
you're
just
good.
go tomorrow. If you overate, like if you had, you know, the not good stuff. Like, I don't even like saying not good. To me, it's like that thing is maybe not optimal for your goals in the grand scheme of things if it takes up a lot of your calories, right? But like at the end of the day, it's like you do that every now and then. Who cares? You know, it's like go live your life. Just be able to assess yourself, what you're willing to sacrifice, and the outcome that you want. And one of those things has to move, right? Like, if you're not willing to sacrifice it, then readjust your outcome. If you don't want to readjust your outcome, then you have to make the sacrifice. But that's the client's decision. I don't make that for them. We just talk about it and see where they land.
You just nailed, I think, everything. That is the vision of like why people should work out and train. And same thing in my mentality, right? Like, there is the flashiness, there is the incremental pushes and the wins, like the PRs that keep you on track in a way, right? But like, it's about the boring stuff at the end of the day. And it has to be, because that boring, monotonous stuff is what is actually going to create the real change and keep you on track and drive the right results so that you can just live your life, because you just need to live your life and better.
Just be capable and able-bodied and be able to do what you want to do. I always think if anybody's like a bogglehead finance person, like or like knows Ramit Sethi's book, I'll Teach You to Be Rich. It's like a very like just boring finance book where it's just like you automate your setup and you just put X amount of dollars in, and you don't do the day trading, you don't play with the stocks. It's like you just put in the boring funds, and long term it's growth. And I always said, like, this is the same mentality if you just replace finance with fitness. It's like you just do most of the boring stuff that is like proven to work semi-regularly, and it's like you're consistent with that long term. You do that for 20 years. Like, when you're 70, you're going to be in better shape. For sure. You're going to live a more capable life, you know? Yeah.
How does that like apply to yourself? Being a business owner and us both having multiple things go on, we're up early, sometimes have to be out late doing things. How do you manage that for yourself? How do you keep that mentality and show it for the brand, but still try to live it and apply it for yourself? Because at the end of the day too, you're almost like, you're doing something different than your clients because you own the gym and you're working on everything behind it, but you also have to represent what the gym represents at the same time.
I think, because some people may look at me because I'm definitely, I get obsessive about a lot of things.
Do you really?
Yeah. Okay. With like, it's kind of the extremes where like some things I'm like, that doesn't matter because I know in the long run, that's not going to be the piece that makes this successful. Where then there's things where I'm like, this does matter a lot because it will help make us successful. And maybe I'm wrong on those things at times, and I am, right? Like, we all are. I think that how I showed is that I will be more realistic with myself in a sense. Like we were just talking about, like, I stay up late and I do work sometimes till 12:30, but the reality of my situation is like, I have 2 kids, I have a business, and if my fitness takes a backseat, you know, I'm still training. It's not like I'm not gonna work out, I'm not gonna get my things, I'm still eating protein, I'm still doing those things, but it's just dialing it back. It's not an on-off switch. It's like that slider is just pulled back in this season of my life right now, and I recognize that. And I'm going to go a little harder on this right now, and that's fine because I know it's going to get me to where I want. And then at the other seasons of life, it's like, cool, my training is going to be hard and more consistent and more frequent. Yeah. And maybe like I'm chilling a little bit more and have more time to just relax, you know?
Yeah, it's like understanding the ebbs and flows that they're naturally going to be there anyway.
Yeah, I think the thread that kind of goes through all of it, the common thread here is that like, I know the outcome I want and I know what's important to me. And to me, that's like, that I show up and be a great father and husband. And like we were talking about, like, yeah, I could nap during the day when I have low sleep, but I'd rather like take the kids to the library and play with them and then just be fatigued and have to rely on caffeine. And some people may be like, well, that fatigue and caffeine is not good for your health. And so I'm like, yeah, long term if I'm doing it like that, but this is just like,
This is a season.
they're never going to be 4-2 again. They're going to go off to school and then not want to hang out with me. I'm going to revel in this right now. And like, that's the common thread, is like, I know what is important to me. And I'm going to do the things that get me to fulfill me in that importance. And then, even if somebody doesn't have kids or whatever, like, you could apply that to any situation,
True. How tired are you?
It's just a constant, it's like, it is like,
I am.
it is like, but at times too, I think it's just like, I could, I'm here at 5:30 today.
Yep.
I could go home in the middle of the day. Some days I do, and some days it's like I have to because I got to like help with the kids or do whatever. But then I might come back at 5:30 at night and, bring on a new client and show them. But at other times it's like I just delegate that off if I can, or I just block off my schedule. Like, there's times where it's just like, I know I can just block off my schedule and everything still gets done. Now is just not the time. So it's like, well, that's where it's at. I know the other piece of all this too, I think, is like that we lean into a lot is like just the data. Like, one of our things here is Project Hot Damn. It's like one of the memberships we have. And at the end of the day, it's just, I took our KPI sheet for our business and just changed a couple things. Like, just track your steps. If you're going to be tracking calories, track your calories, track your protein. Let's look at the averages. Let's look at why this is happening, what needs to happen. It's the same thing. It's just like knowing my numbers in a sense, and that being the thing that drives my habits and the conversations with myself about like, all right, what do I need to do right now? Because I know the actual data and what's going on, and let that drive it.
Yeah.
I know right now for business what I want. I have to do X, Y, Z. Could we hire out for something? We could, but then maybe my financial goals aren't met for my personal life. So it's like, well, I kind of weighed those options myself and I made that decision, and then I'm going to do it. And then when I can like scale back and, then we go through another burst of hiring more people and bringing, a lot of our staff has been here, since we started. It's like, bring them up and give them more responsibility and then pull back. And then you're going to go through those ebbs and flows. It's just what it is. Same thing with training, life, kids, any of it.
I like it. It's just managing. It's managing. It's measuring, managing, and
getting it wrong a lot.
Throwing a couple darts here and there and seeing if they stick, and if they don't, then rolling, moving on. Yeah. But that's awesome. What do you think has made you successful in the gym overall, starting this and like staying in? I mean, you've been in business for
brick and mortar 7 years.
Brick and mortar 7. Yeah. Okay. Prior to COVID, 7. Then you shifted online to get through it. What do you think has been? What literally has been successful for you? Like, why are you successful in business when so many gyms do fail, right?
Yeah.
But it's unique. You have a culture. Culture is the biggest weight that a business can really like push through to people and create, I think. And like, you've done it. This is a successful model in semi-private, small group training, you'd label it. But like, what do you think has been some of the differentiators or things that really drive the success?
I've
like, not even for you, but for the clients and the business, and to have coaches to stay with you for that entire span of time, regardless of what their personal lives looked like, if they were just part-timers, if they wanted to do this as a career, like that's special in and of itself. So what do you think differentiates that between the business end and the the clientele and coaching end?
I think I would like somebody else to assess it, honestly, but I feel like...
You can ask her if you want. You can pull her in if you want.
I was about to loop her in.
I'm curious if you want. Like, I don't care.
I think one of the things, and Lauren, I will ask your opinion, but Lauren's my business partner for anybody that is watching, but one of the reasons is, like, I know my strengths, and one of the first things I outsourced was Lauren, before she was a business partner, was one of my clients, and it was just like, I'm not good with this one. Like, I still don't feel like I'm good with like data in the sense that I want to be. I'm fucking light years ahead of where I was. But like, I never wanted to run the numbers. I never wanted to like sit down and have to like do all that. That's what she does for work. So it's like outsource. So we immediately started like bartering bookkeeping for training. And then that worked into her becoming a partner and being like the CFO and like running all the numbers for the business. Cool. And she's done a great job of educating me as best as she could because I'm not the best student at it. I think I'm not afraid to just switched things up to the point of like, I could look at every year and be like, this was a huge change. And I think a lot of people are scared, whether it's like price increases, like, yeah, we just do that annual. Like, that's just part of our policy. It's just like, it is just there. It's baked in. Like, that has to happen for a business to succeed. And it's like, you know, I do consulting for other gyms, and it's like, they haven't had a price increase in 7 years. It's like, no shit, you're under right now.
Doing? Yeah.
It's like, what do you think the dollar was worth then to now?
And if you don't do that, you're not supporting you and the business. So
and
how
you're
can
not
the
gonna be
business
able to help your
how
members.
can the business help the members in turn if they don't?
And not out of a sense of greed, just a sense of reality of just like, this is what your costs are. This is what you need to take in. Unless you plan on doubling the amount of members and the work for yourself and then having to hire and then you lose that money anyway, it's like, what are you doing? So, you know, another big change we make was we opened up this space that used to just be 2 separate leases with a wall and a door going in, and we just had like one coach on one side, one on the other, and we kind of just made it work.
It was 2 fully separate that you were running that were at the time.
Yeah.
How big is this original space, and then how big was that space?
They're both 1,600 square feet.
Cool.
Yeah.
So 32.
Yeah.
That's solid.
So like we just had like one here and one there, and it obviously like has its own issues then, because it's like, well, then technically we got to double all the equipment and, you know, reflect that.
There's
We
a
have
cost,
to, you know, if somebody signs into that session because they want to train with their friend, but their friend is on this side, well, they're just going to keep walking over. And now it's like, what's the point of even having the other coach over there? Because, you know, so there's a lot of like that where we just looked at it and we're like, okay, we saw what other gyms were doing that made sense for that. And it's like, let's do staggered sessions, open up the walls here, and more of a rotation. So you start on this side, and from a training standpoint, it all has to be based on the training. So it's like, what do we do?
Staggered sessions, meaning the
Every
hour,
half hour.
right? Every half hour, new group
A new
staggers.
group is starting. It's about like a 50-minute to a
audience,
60-minute session.
Cool.
And for those who don't know, it's, you know, individualized programming, 6 people per session. So, well, we know we do our warm-up, we do our power and prep, we do our primary strength, secondary strength, and then like conditioning core. So it just made sense that this side they start on, have the squat racks here. Every squat rack has a TRX, rings, landmine, adjustable bench. There's dumbbells, kettlebells, whatever you need for that stuff. Med balls, we have the med ball wall. So it's like the power work and the prep work. So like think like mobility, stability, core, extra core if they need it. That happens. Then the primary strength is 6 people. They all have their own squat rack. They do whatever their 2 upper, lower superset is. Then on that side, everybody has one side of the cable machine, an adjustable bench, all the other dumbbells, kettlebells, bands, more TRXs are there. So it's like you could just program whatever their secondary strength is. And then their conditioning is bikes, rowers, sled, body weight, whatever the movement is, doesn't matter. It could happen over there.
I like that.
Paired with core. Some people, maybe it's like, you know, you get the older guys like tricep, bicep, superset, like whatever like that.
Throw it in.
Needs, wants.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's like, and I got a lot of pushback with our staff of like, there's no way this is going to work. You know, we tried it where it was like one coach doing all of it.
You're saying when you first brought the staggered model on with the dual
it's just
space.
like, how are we going to manage all this? Like, and my mindset's always just like, we could just like other people do it, we could figure it out. And I've had to make concessions on some of those plans, but even when we then had to do the remodel to do it, I was like, it's getting done in 5 days. That's it. Like, that's all we have. I hate closing the gym. The only time that made sense was between Christmas and New Year's. I don't want to overextend that. And like, we just pushed hard as hell. And again, I made more concessions on like some of the things I wanted to make it get done. But I know that those things weren't going to be the things that make or break the business. To me, what does is like, does the system work? Does the logistics work? Can that, our capacity went from like 95% of classes were filled. Now that we were able to open from 45 sessions on the calendar to 70 something, it's like now we're back to like 70, and now we have that runaway for growth again. We didn't have to go and get more space. We didn't have to get
45 to 70 per what?
I'm sorry?
45 sessions to 70 sessions in what increment? What?
In the week. Sorry.
In the week.
In
the week. 70 sessions in the week.
Yeah, because it's every half hour.
That's awesome.
And it's now 70% capacity. It might be a little higher. I don't know off the top of my head. But, you know, the idea is always, I know that 85% capacity is kind of that mark that members are starting to be like, I can't get into the classes I want.
Yep.
So we still have that runway, but we didn't have to
get
a new lease. We didn't have to do all these other things. It's like, that's what will help us grow without having to take on tons of more expenses. So it's like not being afraid to like make decisions like that and just do it.
Do you have PT? Do you run personal training at all in and around and in between any of those?
Super secondary. Most of it is people who are coming out of like surgeries that might need like a 3-month on-ramp before getting into the small groups. You know, I have like a couple, or I have like one that he was just like, I'm not doing small group. I'm like, all right, well, this is what I'm charging. And he's like, all right. He's like, it is what it is. So it's like, you know, the dollars make sense.
Yeah. Cool, dude. And then what do you think has been so successful in keeping the coaches and the culture?
I think it starts with who you hire. And I can't say that like every coach has stayed. It's not the case. We've had to fire people that just left because life has changed for them. But I think is valuing them and understanding what they value. So one staff member might, you know, it just might be a financial thing. It's just like, I just need to make this much and do whatever. And it's like, you try to help them with that. And others might be like, I really appreciate the flexibility in my time off. So it's maybe they get more PTO days. Also, we do have full-time salaried 401ks. Like,
oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So
awesome.
It's like trying to make this like a actual career. So it's like, this is your job.
Which is just about the hardest thing to do.
Yeah.
Or not necessarily the hardest, but it's
a big growth step.
It's the most lacked thing in the training industry.
There's very rare do you see people with, again, actual careers. And that's one of the things we wanted to change is just like, you know, we're not cheap here.
Yep. And
part of that is because like the staff here, you're training with them like 10 years from now when you're still with us, you're still probably gonna be training with them. They're gonna know you. Like this is gonna be part of like your life. And it's like, you want that investment in your training and your life and what you get out of here. Well, then it's gonna be more expensive. And again, that's just like a conversation you have to have with people. Just like, do you like that person?
Yeah.
Because you want them here? You know, it's not like I have 2 cars. One's a used 2022 Pilot and one's like a 2011 Civic. And it's like, we're not rolling up here in Lambos.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, that's not what we're, you know, like we pay ourselves well enough, you know, for our goals. And it's like the staff makes good money and we don't shy away from expenses that help the clients and make sense for the business. But that has a cost, and that means that people have to pay X amount of dollars to get here, you know?
Yeah, no, that's huge. Because it's also like, I like equating things to like what they spend in life too, right? Anything in like the mid hundreds of dollars tier, even up to 1,000, it's like, what did you spend this month on shit that's pulling you in the opposite direction?
I'll joke with my clients all the time.
What did you do this weekend on Saturday night? You know, it's like, I just did. No, it's like, no, you spent $342.
Yeah. Like when you pull back on like, it's really like $100 a week.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know from my DoorDash that is very easy to do on one DoorDash when you're buying you and your wife.
On fees alone for 2 or 3 DoorDashes, right? Think about just get up and go to the store, go to the restaurant to pick it up instead of delivering. But like, I'm just thinking, right?
And you could have that conversation in a very like, you know,
of course,
supportive way of just like, hey, you know, there's things that are working for your goals and that aren't working. And if that, again, it goes back to like, if that's important to you.
It's not a sales tactic, by the way.
It's just more of like
a perspectivized way to look at it.
A conversation of just like, look, like, I understand you're stressing because this is a big expense, but like you probably are paying this already somewhere that you don't want the outcome of paying for that thing to happen. You know, so it's like, just have that conversation.
What is, I'm diving deep more so in the psychology. What do you think has been easier than you thought it was going to be?
Okay.
And I'm going to flip it. What do you think has been the struggle and harder than you thought it was going to be? And this could be like, shit, we had our first kid, schedule, I thought this, and then it was like, most people are like, it's going to be so hard and stressful. And you're like, I love going with the kids and staying up is cool and I'm good. But most people don't think that way, right? Like, start with the easier. What was easier than you thought it would be from a business owner standpoint and then a personal life standpoint?
The easier
I didn't
one
have
is
these
hard,
written down
dude.
either. I'm just ripping this stuff off the top.
The easier one is hard in my head. Like the harder one was very easy to come up with.
The harder one was easier.
Yeah. The thing that was harder is actually, it's funny, like when I first started Stoked as like a super side thing, I was like, this is just me learning how business works. And if it actually causes stress in my life, I'm not going to continue.
Starting the online or the
like
in-person?
Way back. I mean, the in-person was first technically because I was training people out of Equinox and then pulling them out. But I was just like more like, how do you start a company? What's an LLC? What's an incorporate? It was like, I just want to learn that stuff. So the best way to do it is do it. So I was like, oh, if this really starts to stress me out, I just won't continue. It's like, so the harder thing is always is understanding that it's a constant, like every quarter, I'm just looking at my calendar and being like, all right, now I know that I need to block off here and I only want to work these days, or, you know, like my daughter has school at this time now, so I got to like be able to do
always
pickup.
a juggling act. And
so it's like the work-life balance is very hard, like it is. But, you know, thankfully it's like you work around people you like and it's fulfilling work and you love your clients. It's like that makes it easier. I have a very supportive wife. That makes it easier. I live literally, if I drove home right now, it's 3 minutes, not even. That's if I hit the lights. It's like, so that's easier. But the work-life balance and being able to stop myself from working is hard.
Yeah.
What's been...
Stop yourself from working or stop your brain from just going?
I mean, to me, it's one and the same.
Same thing.
It's like,
yeah.
To stop it, it's most of the time it's just smoke. And then I just
and
veg out on the couch.
Physically go.
That's
what people don't understand.
I
have to say it. People that don't own a business don't understand that. Like, oh,
yeah,
I'm doing this. I got to do, but like a regular life task is here, but the brain's working on something else.
Yeah.
Words from a friend or your wife or whatever is hitting you in the face.
Yeah.
But the brain might just be like, no, this is tomorrow. This is the next month. This is here, And
there is science behind, like, as a business owner, you wear so many hats. Lauren and I were talking about this because she was mentioning, like, when I just worked at a regular job, it's just like I go to work and that's what my calendar says I work, right?
Yep.
It's like,
and you're out, you go home, and it's left there.
Yeah, and I'm sure, and even if you work from home, like, you're dragging it back with you. You work a little later, that's fine. But it's like, you don't have to be the person who is running the operations and figuring out the strategy and doing the branding, the marketing, putting together programs, or at least like overseeing them and teaching the people how to do the things. Like, you have to be the person that is the expert at all those things, so that then you could delegate it.
Yes.
Unless you just get somebody, which we've gotten some great people who, like Sydney, for instance, like she on her own was already doing great marketing and content and things like that. So we like pulled her in.
Genius.
And like most of the time she's like, this is what I want to do. I'm like, thank you. Like, I didn't have to think of that. Like,
let the person flourish, let them be themselves, and let them work and run. Yeah.
Everybody else is, no, I'm just kidding. No, everybody else is like, like they have the best intentions, but they don't know, learning how to learn is its own skill. It's like, how do you learn best in this situation?
Learning how to learn, learning how to manage what you need to do all the time. I had a conversation with our head coach, OC, the other, probably like 2.5 weeks ago. He calls me and he's like, hey man, I thought about just like what you were saying, and like, do you think I should put stuff in my personal calendar on my phone? He would just use our app to put his sessions in. Yeah. Right? But didn't have anything else that he was doing. It was all floating up in the air in his head, and he would just grab it and do it. And he manages certain things. He does check-ins with members. He does all little things around the studio.
He's putting that on
stuff,
his calendar.
Right? But then he was like, do you think I should? But he wasn't using his personal calendar is my point. And like, if the app was ever down, then he was like, oh. But I'd be like, summer event is this date. For like 2 months, 3 months in a row in our monthly meetings, it was like this date, right? And then it's like, you got to do this for the event. This didn't exactly happen. I'm just giving
but I know what you're saying. It's such a minute thing. Yeah.
And I'm like, yes. I'm like, that's what I've been telling you for 2 years. Not in a bad way, and I wasn't like talking down to him. It was more like, dude, like it was like the biggest skill gap is almost teaching yourself how to constantly, preemptively recognize you have a thought or a task in your mind, to put it down, to either set a reminder or put it in your calendar, or a reminder for what's in your calendar.
Yeah.
And it has to be foreseen, otherwise it's gone.
And
I've had genius thoughts, even like a piece of content of like a quote that I want to put out there somewhere, and I'm like, that's easy, I'll remember it. And then an hour later, I'm like, oh, what was that thing I wanted to do? I'm like, no shot, it's gone. See you later.
And that's then you have to learn like how you got to do it, and then you got to learn that not everybody does it the way you do it. So how do you help that person learn how to do it for themselves?
Yep.
It's all that, and so I was going back to
that's the difference of like losing something or building something successful because you just hit all the tasks that had to get done instead of letting them off and they all just fell off a cliff.
But then you have to wear each of those hats and switch it on and off. So like your brain is just constantly running. And I mean, the science even shows that's like when you go to switch what I'll just keep calling as hats, like you go from like, I'm doing some marketing stuff, whatever, and now I got to go to like,
a dad. Dad hat.
Some like,
even
anything. It's like switching what you're doing takes usually like the brain like 15 minutes of like getting there. So if now I have to write content for something, it's like you really got to sit down and you want to pull out your phone and distract yourself, but it's like you just got to like do it for 15 minutes and then you'll get in the flow of that one. And you have to keep doing that. So I think that's always been really hard for me. I don't know what the answer. I think easiest is maybe just like I thought it would be a lot harder to build the culture that I think we have here, but I think it's been easier because of the people we have as staff and members. And because I think we just are very unapologetically like who we are, we attract that kind of person.
That's who you are.
Yeah, and I think it just makes for like the culture here to be so great. Like, yeah, that's way easier than I thought.
Yeah, it's funny, like learning what culture is. It's just being.
Yeah.
It's whatever that is. It's like you can't draw up a culture. It's also like recognizing when someone doesn't fit. You got to make a move. You know, if there's certain pieces that are either toxic or wrong or whatever. But it's just It's just you're you.
Whether, and I think an important piece of that is whether you want it to be or not. So even if you say like that's not part of our culture, but that's something that happens here on a consistent basis, and you're not actually squashing, then it is part of your culture. Your culture, like you said, it is. And it's like there has to be like a defense of the culture too.
True. It could be positive or negative, I guess, and that
and you have to be very like, we don't allow these things to happen. Even something like this is, I don't know how much this crosses over, but like we don't program burpees. I will refuse to ever program a burpee.
Same.
I think it's the most ridiculous exercise unless you are training for a competition that requires burpees.
Arnold, do you want to do burpees at 8? Well,
No.
And like to me, it's like one of the people here were doing programming and they wrote burpees in, and I guess like that's on me for not like drawing that line. I remember seeing somebody do it, and I started like mildly. I'm like, why the fuck is this person doing burpees? I was like, are they just doing it on their own? Do they think that's a good
funny,
exercise?
right?
Is that in the program? And it's like, then that had
where
to be
does that fit in the program? Do you know why'd you do it? Where does that fit in your program? What not? But that also goes back to saying like, also preemptively being like, this is now an officialized listing of our culture.
Yeah.
This is what we do. This is what we don't do. But then that's also a reflection of you, me having to train coaches. I went through that this year of like, what makes me me? What makes me program the way I do, talk the way I do in a session? Why the hell do people want to train with me?
Yeah, it is.
Right? I'm a dick, but I'm like a charming dick sometimes. I'm like, well, how do I convey that to someone to be in an environment? Well, it's like maybe that's just how they need to be and learn their voice as a coach, but these 80 other things are what makes the business run. And then it's like, do this, but don't do this. But only sometimes you can do this if you think it fits once you're an expert at doing this. And it's like, okay.
It is.
You know?
I was thinking about the other day when I was writing programming. I'm like, all right, so like I'm redoing our SOPs on like how we write programs. And like every decision I made is easier now too, because I just like screen record myself and talk my thoughts out while I do it, and then throw it into like Claude and be like, all right, tell me why, like I was doing that. You know, what was the takeaways from that? But you have to kind of deconstruct like, why am I doing this? Like, well, I know this person has back pain, but they also really like this. So, you know, for back pain, that's a bigger thing here. So we got to make sure we're addressing that. And all right, we're going to go unilateral, but we're going to do it this way, like offset, because I also know that they like it when it's a little bit different. You know, it's like recognizing those silly little things.
Yeah, but getting the brain to think that way too for someone that doesn't know it.
Yeah.
Right.
And just being able to write out then a very simplified, like, this is where you start. Here's where you could tweak it. If you know that the member likes this, do X, Y, Z, unless it goes against the more primary issue that you're attacking. Then you have to like understand how you categorize these things in your mind so that you can then label them on a piece of paper that then somebody else can read and understand. You know, which is, you can go as deep as you want to on that, and that could be diminishing returns, but
for sure
has to happen in some capacity.
Cool, man. What are some, I don't know how to ask this in a way that you'll understand, but like, what are some hacks you have? Do you have any hacks? Because I remember, this is a specific thing I have. We were on a sports field back in 2017.
Okay.
You were like intermittent fasting, and you're like, I'm like, oh, what are you eating? You got Chipotle, right? And you're like, oh, it's a burrito. It's my one meal of the day. It's got everything I need in it. I was like, what? And I just remember I was like, that's so simple. It's absolutely stupidly simple.
Yeah, the burrito bowl plus
and it
burrito
just,
trip.
Yeah, and it like just makes sense. So I feel like you live that way and you have these things. What are like a couple of hacks that you have throughout the day that you throw in that you might not even notice?
Caffeine,
thinking
Adderall,
about
and Zins, for sure.
Yeah?
That's just it.
How do you use those?
All the time. As much as you can. No. Hacks? I don't know. Hacks for what specifically? Like business?
It could be an easy meal, an easy like food hack when you're moving.
Oh, I mean,
it could be
food hack is simple. I tell everybody here, it's like not everybody has to do this because other people like doing like more involved prep. But to me, it's just like cook 2 high protein, lean meats, if you eat meat, in big bulk, put them in big Pyrexes, and then just have microwavable rice and veggies. And then a ton of different sauces. And like that is like 99% of my meals. It's just like pick up a protein, microwave this, microwave that, put it all on one plate.
Done.
Screw anybody that says microwaved veggies or whatever are unhealthier. It's like the dumbest thing. It's like it's just still veggies.
Yeah. If it's frozen too, it could be
more
better
nutrients.
for you.
Yeah.
More nutrients, and
Yeah.
it's flash frozen. Fruit
Yeah.
also.
Yeah.
Which I learned like probably a year and a half.
If somebody
2 years
wants to
ago.
make the argument that it's like, well, you're microwaving it in a plastic bag that it comes in, it's like,
Yeah.
brother, we're past that
Everything.
as society. Like we got it in our
Past
testicles at this
everything.
point.
Yeah, we're
like,
breathing microplastics
babies are
in
born
right
with
now.
it. Yeah. I mean, that's like a good food one. I think.
Business hack. When you're,
Business hack.
I'll go more
Yeah.
specific.
Yeah,
When
please.
you're struggling to work and you're trying to get creative and juices flowing,
Yeah.
what's something that you do? And then on the contrary, when you know you have to stop working, you should for your own well-being. What's something
To answer
that,
the second one first, I found that just ingesting cannabis helps me stop working. But the first one, yeah.
don't smoke weed, kids.
Yeah. Well, the drinkable cannabis drinks are great too.
Are they really?
Amazing. And they sell them right across the street. 5 milligrams does the trick. Dude, delicious. And it's good for you. So then the other one was, how do you start the work? For me, a lot of it is like putting the containers on myself. Like a lot of times it's like literally put my phone in a different room on a charger, bring my laptop into wherever I'm working, go personal focus mode. I like to start, if I can, to like, if I'm like starting work in something, the first type of work I'll try to do is something creative because I know that gets me really excited. So if it's like, all right, I know I have to design this flyer and do these other tests, I'm gonna put the design first because it's like, I'll just make sure it's not like taking me hours and I'm getting too nitty-gritty. So like, let me at least do like a half hour of just like playing around with something to like be in now stoked mode. And then I'll do that.
Stoked mode.
Yeah. Or like programming is another one that I find as a creative outlet. Like one of the first things I do in here, if I don't have like a immediate like appointment, is I just start doing programs because I'm like, I just love doing it and it's like fun for me. It's like a riddle that you're trying to solve. And then I'll get into like, okay, now I gotta like do an SOP or, you know, start charting out something or, you know, having meetings or whatever. But like that creative work always gets me to get into that zone. I don't know if that's the same for everybody.
Now, putting the phone down for me is hard, putting it separate, because I feel like I'm so used to working on my phone all the time. I have my partner and my third partner on the other end that they're all doing their other things and back end stuff too. So I'm more of the on the front, the training side, the going, and everything's on the phone.
Yeah.
And messages on the phone and social. I'll post some stuff, right? We have the media team, but like I'll post, I'll caption, I'll do stuff like that and be on the more creative side typically. So that's hard because I have to be on the apps. I have to be attentive to messages because I'm also still running a big personal training book for myself because it just is. But
I found that I got this 3D printed. Check out Ed. I don't want to. He's a member here now, so I bought this thing off of this guy.
Okay.
And then like we started talking, and then so he does these 3D printings. My buddy's cousin, who ended up, he runs a pretty big business on his own, and then has a side business, does a lot of like 3D print. I think it's Edro Industries. I'll double check it so that I don't feel like an asshole.
Okay. Yeah. Send it.
So he like does a lot of different things, and like he's sold to like
Sick.
Big names.
We can link it too if you get some of the stuff and we'll throw it in there.
So what it is this little like 3D printed thing. So I have the Apple Watch that has cellular. So you pop it in there and it feels like a phone now, like imagine like an iPod Nano from back in the day.
Yep.
So then like on the weekends, it's like phone stays at home and when we go out somewhere, I have this in my pocket in that 3D printed case. So it still acts as a phone because it has cellular. So if I just get phone calls or text messages, I can still answer them.
Interesting.
And then I cannot scroll. So it's like setting the boundary for yourself.
That's for the watch or
the watch is the watch pops into it, and then that way like it's just encased in it. So I can still like text on it and take phone calls on it. I always also you can take phone calls on it normally, but it's on like speaker. But I have my AirPods.
Maybe I should get a watch for that reason. I hate stuff. I never wear stuff on my wrists.
Yeah.
I'll
have
a watch. That's interesting. That's really cool.
So it's like that's like another one of just like you have to set up the blockades for yourself to like not allow yourself to do it. It's like same thing with like clients. It's like if you find yourself eating a certain snack all the time and that's making you go away from your progress, it's like you can still have that snack. Don't allow it in your house. And if you want it, just drive to 7-Eleven and get it and then bring it back and eat it. And just that little bit of friction will probably stop you most of the time. You're not telling yourself no, you're not depriving yourself. You're just making it a little bit harder. And like at the end of the day, it still would take you 10 minutes if you wanted it, but you just don't want to get up and go get it. So it's like same thing. It's like, I don't want to go up to get my phone right now, so I'm not going to be able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So any of those is usually pretty
Dope,
helpful.
dude. I like that. Last thing before we cut it. What's next? Anything that you got brewing for Stoked? Anything you want to talk about, announce? Whether it's
Yeah, I want to make a huge announcement right now.
huge announcement. anything, right? Anything like next business wise, anything that you were, or wanting to do.
My
even?
goal is to. We always talk about like either like multiple locations or just like grow it and get like a bigger location, buy a building and do that. But I think for me, the first goal is, making sure that the staff and the team and the organization of the business is at a point where like I can pull back a lot on the day to day.
Yep.
So that I then can, when we decide the time is right for the next thing, is be ready in the middle of that, just like explore.
Cool.
What it's like to not work 24/7.
Cool. I like that. That's the
Yeah.
goal.
Yeah.
That's the goal, man. Tell everyone where they can find you, right?
My
Hit you up.
address.
And if they want to
my home
train here and get in
address
touch.
is,
Social Security first, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Stoked Athletics is our page. If you want to follow me for whatever reason, I post a lot of just garbage on my stories. It's the Stoked Brogy, www.stokedathletics.com. And if you're interested and you live near us and unfortunately can't go to 8well for whatever reason because
dude, go to him.
it's too far, you could come to us. We're in West Babylon. We do a 2-week trial for $99. You can check us out.
Dope, dude. Sick.
Hell yeah.
Appreciate having you on.
Thanks, Jay.